Hails and welcome to Rauta's Black Metal Duel review with a solo project called Quell. Not so sure about the pronunciation, but anyway, that's what we have here. Neither of these babies over here are full albums, but more like CDR MCDs. Why CDR? Well, they are both self-financed. You don't find label codes, barcodes, or whatever they're within. So self-financed, definitely. And these were both sent to me by the band or solo project in question. Let's take a look at them while I'll guide you through the band in question. This one is the first one from 2019. It's the self-titled one, which has 4 tracks and some 12 minutes. The only member of this project is right here, a person from United States of America, later on, however, relocated to Stockholm, Sweden. I don't know why anybody would really change the atmosphere in California to Sweden, but then again, maybe I'm biased living myself in the northern countries. I mean, things are quite well here, but, well, certainly there must have been some benefits living in areas like California, but like I said, what do I know? Anyway, the second one here is Turning the Sun to Stone, and this is MCD of about 23 minutes, 6 songs. So both of these are self-financed. So let's take a look at the band's Metal Archive site. Like I said, the band started in the United States, and first release was 2019, and the second one is 2021. That's exactly why these two are featured here. Makes not so much sense to make an individual review video about the first EP, because it's kind of like giving the background information about the band, like how the band has changed, and obviously, well, it is quite a nice reference point to compare these two together, because even though there is a 2 years gap between these two, they are still done by the same person, the same lineup and all, and it's not like the genre is very, very different. Now, what you got your attention in the first place, that was definitely getting my attention in the first place, is that this cover isn't exactly something that you would say a typical black metal cover. Not that these track lists right here, I mean, The Child, The Lovers, The Servant, The Goddess, it's not like these track names kind of give you a feeling, okay, this is a black metal MCD I'm browsing here. Say, if this was in a record store and you would be looking for extreme metal, you might be really skipping this one. That's the feeling I'm getting here. This, however, is more the traditional sense, you know, kind of a black and white cover, and even the name is somewhat more black and metal. I don't know if it's really black metal, even though it blackened metal might sound more true. This could be very well, I mean, be some kind of a doom, melancholic doom release or whatever. But the case here is, it's black metal, and it's independent, and one man, right here, handsome fella. Anyway, the style is something that we could go describing as mid-tempo black metal with certain kind of energy. Now, it's not fully mid-tempo. I mean, even there, it's right there to kind of a dominating factor. There are parts which are a little bit slower, and then there are parts which are more like bursting with speed and all. And when it comes to the riffs, they're quite simple. It's not like this is the rawest of it all. It's not like this is the most vicious or barbaric or the darkest or the most sinister, but more like kind of a middle path of black metal. Not exactly the kind of a beautiful and atmospheric and melancholic like some of the more atmospheric black metal bands tend to be, but not exactly the darkest or more violent. You know, when you would compare these two bands, say, such as Marduk and the like, this would feel more like, hey, it's actually pretty relaxing kind of a music. But it all depends to which you're comparing to when we're talking about black metal. Now, all in all, Quell EP is nicely done. There are no real weak moments, and given it's 4 tracks and 12 minutes, you know, the songs don't have the habit of going with weird places. They don't end abruptly either. They are just kind of a nicely composed, and they are pretty much carved from the same stone. So they kind of make a lot of sense in songwriting and composition, and also when it comes to production. Now, the only thing which raises a question mark in my head is that a drum machine? It's not like it's disturbing, but it kind of sounds like it's not played by a human. Doesn't really matter, it's not bad, just wondering. Now it all sounds also a little bit homemade recording, if you will. It doesn't really sound like it's done in a big studio or anything like that. It's a little bit rough on the edges. Like I said, it's not bad or anything, just a little bit more like not fully polished, if you will. And by polish, I don't mean super clean or crisp. It's somewhat raw, but kind of like it was maybe hurried in the mix. I don't know, it's hard to put my finger on it. It's just something that kind of shows that this is a one-man project, and these could be very well just called demos for the sake of being independent CDR releases without being full length at all. Now, pretty much the same thing applies turning the sound to stone, really, except that this sounds a little bit better in production. Now, the drum machine part is then again a little bit more emphasized here. It gives me definitely the feeling that this is a drum machine versus the first self-titled one. But the overall sound, this is a little bit better. I mean, this sounds like more the works of an experienced pair of hands, if you know what I mean. Like the guitar sounds a little bit more powerful, and it is actually quite a good sound overall. There are clean vocals on both of these releases, and while they are technically good and nothing to complain about in terms of creating certain kind of a feeling, it feels also a little bit off, like it's not needed here. Maybe it's just for the sake of contrast, maybe it's for the sake of just the artist being an artist, like, hey, I want to have these clean parts, so I need to include them. But in my opinion, this could be even more powerful than without them, There's also certain kind of a death metal feeling with the first one, which is not so much present here with the second one. Maybe it's only parts here and there and only like one song or so, but it's definitely there. And there are growlier parts on the first one which are not here present so much on the second one. So it seems like the band or project has changed a little bit over 2 years, which is then again kind of a given and something even expected. Now, I would say these are both quite the same quality when it comes to songwriting and all. So I cannot really say like, hey, this second one is so much better than the first one. In my opinion, these are both quite nice. They are not super great or anything, but definitely worth listening. Quite enjoyable all in all. If I had to pick a winner here, which is something I, for no reason, like to do, I would say this one. It seems like the band has stepped a little bit, maybe half a level up, so to speak, with this one. And as such, I would say if you have either time for either one, but not both, or if you want to take first the one to listen to, which is the better one, well, in my opinion anyways, I would say start with this one. But it doesn't really matter. They're both really close to each other in terms of quality and songwriting. More like a little bit details are what separates these two from each other. These could be very well done in a compilation, and it all would make sense in my opinion. Maybe that's something that will happen in the future, I don't know. But given that these are both MCDs, should not take too much of your time to listen to them through, and maybe you will enjoy them. I hope the band will get a recording deal, because the quality is so much better than with so many bands which have a label, yet these don't have. I don't know what's the reason, but let's hope that this person's life in Sweden helps this one catch a label, because this is deserving that, in my opinion anyway. Give Quell a look, give it a listen, and I hope you enjoy it. Take care and see you soon. More reviews coming your way.